Top of the top, y'all, it's your boy Show tapping in real quick. And today I just want to talk about the 5 qualifications, all right, when dealing with a new lead. And when I say qualifications, I mean these are the ways that you figure out if this is actually someone who's going to do business with you, or if you're just talking to somebody who's going to waste your time, string you along, and will never do business with you, all right? So every time you get a new potential lead, a new potential seller, someone who, may consider selling their house to you for under market value, you want to make sure you get these 5 questions answered, all right? Let's go. All right, guys, so number 1, you want to know what their motivation is. And when I say motivation, I mean, what is their reason to sell? You always want to know this. And if they don't have any motivation or they don't have a reason to sell, that's going to be a red flag indicator that this is not going to be a lead for you. This is someone who's going to continue to drag you along and waste your time. And we don't have time to waste time, all right? We're in a game that's very competitive, that moves very fast, and time kills all deals. So, if they start giving you red flags, you want to take notice of that, all right? But number 1 is we want to know what is their reason to sell, all right? Because when you know their reason to sell, you can use that against them in the negotiation to make them give you the price that you're asking for, all right? So, for example, let's say you reach out to a seller and they have a home that they don't live in, but they were using as a rental property, right? So their reason to sell is they don't want to be a landlord anymore. They're tired of tenants not paying the rent or having to, take people to eviction court. Their tenants are destroying the property and not caring for it. Can be a lot of reasons for a tired landlord, guys. They may just want to get out of the game. They may want to liquidate all their property so they can just cash out and have that money in the bank. So when you talk to them, you want to say things like, do you see this getting any better for yourself? Or do you see it getting any worse? Things like that, just to kind of hit that pain point, or do you plan on putting another tenant in there? What's the likelihood that the next tenant that you put in place is going to care for your property, that they're not going to destroy it further? You want to just continue to touch on that pain point so they can get to a point where, I do want to just go ahead and get rid of this property. I am willing to take a low market value offer on the property so I can just go ahead and conveniently get rid of it. And that's what we do as wholesalers. We provide speed and convenience, all right? So you want to know their motivation and their reason to sell so you can continuously hit on that, and that is going to help you bring them down to the price point that you're looking for, all right? Number 1, know their reason to sell, know their motivation so you can start to use that against the seller, all right? That's major key, guys. All right, number 2, you want to know their timeline to sell. How soon are they looking to sell the property, all right? If they don't have this in mind, then again, they might just be wasting your time and stringing you along, all right? So if you talk to somebody, you're making an offer, you tell them you're looking to purchase their property, and you ask them, okay, well, how soon would you be looking to sell the property? If they say ASAP, that's a hot deal, all right? If they say 30 to 60 days, that's still a warm deal. If they say, oh, I don't know, I haven't thought about it, or that's when they might tell you something like, well, I have to find a place to relocate to, or, I want to get the mortgage paid down, or, anything that they can say. Now is your job as a wholesaler to provide a solution to that objection, all right? So you want to ask that question so you can know how to move forward. If they want to get it done ASAP, then you need to hurry up and set an appointment, go ahead and throw out that offer, start your negotiation so you can get them under contract and go ahead and get this deal done, guys, all right? So number 2, you always want to know what is their timeline to sell. That lets you know how you need to proceed forward and how much urgency you need to have, all right? You don't want to pressure these people. We're not trying to make people do things that they don't want to do. We just want to help them along, and move on to bigger and better things. So you always want to know their timeline to sell so you know how much urgency you need to proceed with, all right? That's a major key, guys. All right, guys, so number 3, you want to know what's their price. What price are they asking for to sell the property? So for starters, guys, you always want to try to pull that price out of them first before you make an offer. That way you kind of know where their head is at and you can kind of gauge the situation, all right? Now, if you've done your numbers and you know this is a deal for you at 100,000, but the seller is asking for 200,000, then you guys are way far off. This might not end up being a deal. They probably want market value for the house, but even in that situation, you want to kind of explain to them why your offer is what it is. Let them know, well, hey, I'm not someone who's looking to buy the house and live in it. I'm coming from an investor standpoint. The only reason we buy properties is so we can fix them up and make money on them. Just be honest and upfront. And also, that's the time for you to explain your benefits to them, okay? So you want to let them know, by selling to me at that price, you're not paying a realtor commission. You don't pay any closing costs. We can help you with relocation. We provide free moving services. We can get this done quick, conveniently. We provide cash, so we provide a service and convenience in exchange for the price that we need, all right? So you want to always explain your benefits and let them know that you're coming in as an investor, not someone looking to move into the property, all right? Now, if you know it's a deal at 100,000 and they're asking for 120, cool. You guys are not that far off. You have room for negotiation. And now you want to move back to number one, which is their motivation to sell, and use that pain point against them during your negotiations. All right. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't, guys. But remember, you need to know what that price is. A lot of sellers will not tell you what their asking price is. They just want you to make that offer first. And that's fine too. So in those situations, what I like to do is drop what we call an anchor price. This is a really low offer just to see what they say. They might say, oh, no way. Oh, hell no. Or they might say, I was thinking this. And then, they kind of counter offer with what they were thinking. And now you guys can continue the conversation, continue the negotiation, right? So if you know it's a deal at 100 and they won't give you an offer, what I do is I say, well, if we could offer you 70,000, is that something you could work with? And just be quiet and see what they say. Like I said, they either gonna give you a hard objection, or they're gonna start to open up and tell you what they thought is a fair offer, and then you negotiate from there, guys. But either way, it's always super important to get that price point, all right? You wanna know what you're dealing with, you wanna know who you're dealing with, and you wanna know if there's even room for negotiation, if there's even room for you to make a deal out of this, all right? Some people are stuck in their ways. They look at Zillow and see a price and they think that's exactly what they should get. And a lot of times that's market price that they're looking for, guys. So if their house is in bad condition, or they want it quick, they want it done quick, or they want services, or they want additional benefits, then they have to help you, help them. And they do that by giving you the price that you're looking for, guys. All right. So number 3, you always want to know what the seller's price is, or at least try to pull it out of them, guys. And if you can't do that, drop an anchor, see where it goes. All right. So number 4, you want to know the condition of the property. Obviously, if it's land, you don't need to know the condition, but you do want to know if it has electric and utilities. You want to know if they have a survey. You need to know if it's cleared, or if there are trees on the lot, because if there are trees on the lot, then that is an additional cost to you, and you can use that as a negotiation point. Let them know, well, we do have to get the trees cleared. That's going to cost us X amount. So, would you take this as an offer? But if it's a property, you want to know, about all the majors, the roofing, the HVAC, the foundation. Have they did any recent updates in the last 5 years to things like the kitchen and the restrooms and the master bedroom, which are all things that people look at when they're buying a new house, all right? So obviously, if you're selling to a fix and flipper, they're going to want to know these things. So you need to pull that information out of the seller. So when you get it under contract, you can communicate that with your potential buyers, all right? With the investors who are going to come in and purchase the property from you on assignment, so that you can make your wholesale fee. You always want to know the condition of the property. Get as much information as the seller is willing to give you. Take notes on everything. Just continue to ask questions. How's the flooring? How's the walls? How's the painting in the house? How's the garage? Have you had any updates on the roof? How's the AC? How's the plumbing? How's the electrical? You just want to know any updates that they have done. If they have done updates to like the foundation or the roof, do they have receipts? Do they have warranties? Is there something that's transferable to the next buyer? So you always want to know the condition, because that is also going to be a negotiation and a pain point, guys. All right. So if the roof is falling down and they tell you that, then you want to use that in your negotiation. Say, hey, I want to give you the price you're asking for, but like you mentioned, we're going to have to come in and fix that roof. We're going to have to fix that ceiling. We're going to have to come in and fix that foundation. And who knows, that could be $5,000, $20,000 job. All right. You want to tell them, hey, you haven't did any updates to, the kitchen or the restroom. Your house may not be in bad condition, but it's not to 2021 standards. All right. So we can't get full market value from this in its current condition. So we're going to have to come in, and even though it may look good to you, we're going to have to remodel it so it's more appealing to someone on the market looking for a new home. All right. So you always want to know the condition, and just like their motivation to sell, you can use that as a pain point and a negotiation tool. All right. So always ask the questions about the condition of the property, guys. Take those notes and use that as a negotiation tool as well, guys. All right. So number 4 is we want to know the current condition of the property. All right. And always let the sellers know as well, they don't have to do any upgrades. We are investors buying the property as is. All right. So our offer is coming from the fact of, is based on the current condition of the property. So that is a must know, guys. You have to know everything there is to know about the current condition. Some sellers will lie. Some sellers will say, oh, my home is in great condition. And that's also why we want to set appointments to go and look at the property and take pictures of the property. Even if you're not a general contractor, you have no knowledge of how much updates will cost, you want to take good pictures of the property at an appointment. Or if the seller has pictures, you want them to send you pictures so you can put that in your campaign to show to your buyers. And they'll generally tell you, oh man, this water heater looks horrible. We're going to have to get a new water heater. This AC is outdated. We're going to have to get a new AC. So don't worry if you don't know those things off the top of your head. Just get pictures, guys. Show your buyers. It's up to your buyers to do, their own background checks anyway, to do their own due diligence anyway. You're just providing a product, and it's up to them to do the background work to see if it's something they want to buy and let you know what those costs may be. All right. Worst case scenario, if need be, get a general contractor to come with you to the appointment and walk the property and point out things that they may see wrong. All right. And that's not a deal breaker, guys. The seller should understand. Just let them know, hey, I'm still interested at this price. I'm interested in the property. I'm just going to have my general contractor come by with me to take a look so, we can get a quick assessment of what we're going to have to do to bring this property up to market value. All right. They will totally understand. You can find a general contractor on Facebook, places like Thumbtack, and a general contractor will come out with you and look at the property for free just to give you a quote and try to earn your business. All right. So number 4, you need to know the condition of the property, guys. Number 5, and this is important for so many reasons, guys. You want to make sure that whoever you're talking to, about the property, negotiating with, whatever the case may be, you want to make sure that you are talking to a decision maker, all right? Because sometimes these are inherited properties, and there might be 10 heirs on a property, and one person wants to sell, but the other 9 don't, or there are 10 heirs and 9 want to sell, but 1 doesn't. And if all the heirs don't sign, then you don't have a deal, guys. Or you might be talking to someone who just recently got divorced. You're talking to the husband and he wants to sell. He's eager to sell. He's going to give you the price you're asking for, but you haven't even talked to the wife. He hasn't even talked to the wife. She might not even be on board to sell. So you want to make sure you are talking to the person who's listed on the deed. You want to make sure they are a decision maker, or else you may just be wasting your time talking to one person if the other people who have to sign for the property are not on board, guys. All right. So you always want to ask that question, just simply ask, okay, so I'm interested in a property, but I just want to know, are you the only decision maker when it comes to selling this property? And generally they'll tell you, well, no, it was me and my wife's property. We just got a divorce, so I will have to talk to her about it. great. You know what I'm saying? Now at least you know that there is somebody else in the picture. And if possible, you want to ask them, do you mind if I get in contact with the other decision makers to kind of talk to them about what we just talked about and make sure that everybody's on the same page, all right? So you always want to try to be a mediator, whatever the situation is, or if they have good communication, a good relationship with the other decision makers, fine. But you have to communicate with them after they let you know that everybody has to be on board in order to sell the property if they are an heir or if they are listed on a deed, all right? And that's just what it is, guys, all right? Because one person can't sell a house that's technically owned by several people, all right? Everybody who has ownership in the house has to be on board to sell, because they will have to sign those final closing documents, guys. So, and I mean, sometimes when you're making cold calls or you're reaching out to people, you may end up talking to a nephew of the person who actually owns the house, and they want to negotiate with you, because they want to act like they know everything and take that information back to the other person. But you don't really want to talk to that person. You want to talk to decision makers only when you are looking to make an offer on a property, guys, all right? Because obviously they make the decisions. You can have a really good, lengthy conversation, have a great negotiation, make some great points with someone, and they're not even making a decision. And they can't reiterate all the things that you said. So when they try to go back and talk to the decision maker, they might not make it sound as good as you made it sound. And now the decision maker is turned off because of what the other person brought to them, and they haven't even talked to you yet, all right? So you always want to make sure, starting out, guys, on that first initial conversation, are you talking to the decision maker? And if not, how can you get in contact with the decision maker? All right. So those are 5 key points, guys. That's what we call the qualifications. You want to make sure you are qualifying every lead on every call if possible, or at least get as many of those qualifications as you can. And then on a follow-up, kind of fill in the blanks. But those are major keys, guys. That's how you know if someone is going to do business with you, and you only want to spend your time and chase down leads that are actually going to do business with you, all right? So I hope you guys learned something from this video. Make sure on all your calls, you are qualifying your leads, guys, because that's how you get to the finish line quicker. And the finish line means cash in your pocket. And that's what we're doing this for, all right? Tap in.